I got uninvited to a wedding. That was supposed to happen at my house. Let that sink in. They didn't just change the venue. They didn't even downgrade to a courthouse. No. They still wanted to use my house. They just didn't want me there. It started out simple, thoughtful even. Carla, one of my closest friends for years, was getting married. It was going to be a small backyard wedding. Chill, intimate, low budget, but meaningful. And since my property has the space, the view, the privacy, they asked if they could have it here. She and her fiancé, Rick, were thrilled when I said yes. I was happy to help. She was my friend. I wanted her to have her perfect day. But like most perfect days, this one had a crack in the foundation. Carla and I had a history. Not a secret one, just a history. We dated on and off in college. It never fully clicked, so we stayed friends. Good friends. My wife knew. She never had an issue. Carla even came to our wedding. I never knew if Rick knew. I figured if he needed to, Carla would have told him. That wasn't my place. Then, about a month ago, silence. Radio silence. I assumed wedding stress, maybe life stuff. No big deal. But then, out of nowhere, Carla called. Her voice was tight, like she was holding her breath. Rick found out, not from her, from some mutual friend, no one will say who casually mentioned our past. But that wasn't all. Apparently, the friend also told Rick that Carla had once said she was still in love with me, while she was already dating him. I don't know if she actually said that. I don't even want to know. But it lit a fuse. Rick was furious, not just at her, but at me. For existing, apparently. For being part of her past. For being the man she didn't marry. They started couples counseling, trying to salvage what was left. And then came the curveball. Carla told me the wedding was still on. But Rick had one condition. I wasn't invited. I understood. Honestly, I did. If the man's uncomfortable, that's his right. It's their day. I didn't want to make it harder. But then I asked, naturally, "So, where are you guys going to have it?" And she said it. "We still want to have it at your house." I blinked. Rick doesn't want me at the wedding. But he's fine using my house? My house? While I go, where exactly? Carla told me they were hoping my wife and I could stay somewhere else for the weekend. Just clear out. Let them get ready here. Let guests wander our yard, use the bathrooms, our kitchen, like we didn't live here. I said no. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just said no. This wasn't a venue. This was our home. And they didn't want me in it. They wanted the view, the space, the charm, but not the man who built it. Carla tried to reason. It's just for the weekend. Rick really wants this. It means a lot to us. But I kept thinking, if Rick doesn't want me at his wedding, why does he want his wedding at my home? And that's when the calls started. Texts, messages from mutual friends, saying I was being petty, that I was sabotaging their wedding, that I was punishing Carla for Rick's insecurity, that it was the least I could do after everything. Everything? What everything? Dating someone in college a decade ago, moving on, getting married, staying friends. I didn't hide our history. I didn't sabotage their relationship. I didn't tell Rick anything. Carla did, or didn't. That was her decision. But now, because the truth came out in a messy way, I'm the bad guy. I could have been vindictive. I could have thrown old pictures in their faces, rubbed salt in the wound. I didn't. I gave space. I respected the boundary, but the boundary didn't go both ways. They still wanted the benefit, the beauty of our home, without the burden of our presence. And it wasn't just about principle. It was about safety, about trust. Would you leave your house for the weekend for a crowd of people you don't know, who don't want you there, to celebrate a couple who just cut you out? What if something breaks, goes missing? Who's responsible? And what about respect? I said no, and they didn't take it well. Carla's tone shifted, from pleading to bitter, from hopeful to hurt. Rick, apparently, is now convinced I'm doing this to make a statement, to ruin their day, to cling to something I let go of long ago. And maybe the saddest part? Some friends agreed with him. They said I should have taken the high road, that I should have just let it go, that it's not a big deal to be gone for a weekend, but it is a big deal. Because it's not about the wedding, it's about dignity. You can't ask someone to give and then take away their humanity. You can't say, we don't want you, and still say, but we want what you have. I've done everything I can to be kind, to be civil, to be generous. But kindness without boundaries isn't kindness, it's surrender. And I won't surrender my home, my peace, my self-respect. For a wedding, I'm not welcome to. So, am I the asshole? This one hits a nerve, because it's not just about weddings. It's about boundaries, and the blurred lines between generosity and guilt. This story reminds us that relationships, even old friendships, aren't built on memories. They're built on mutual respect, and when that respect goes one way, the whole thing crumbles. The storyteller here didn't lash out. He didn't retaliate. He made a choice, a painful, complicated, mature choice, to say no, to protect his space. And sometimes, that's the hardest thing to do. So here's the real question. For all of us, have you ever felt obligated to sacrifice your own comfort, your own space, just to keep the peace? What would you have done in his shoes? Let us know in the comments. And remember, this is AITA Story Vault, where the truth might be messy, but it's always worth telling.